23 years. That's how long one man has been defying gravity, father time, and every single expectation thrown his way. And right now, in January 2026, we're standing at what could be the most significant crossroads in Los Angeles Lakers history since Kobe Bryant's final season. Welcome to Lakers News Fan Report, your home for the latest breaking news, insider analysis, and everything you need to know about our beloved purple and gold. I'm here to bring you the updates that matter, the stories that shape our team's future, and the honest conversations we need to have as Lakers fans. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button right now because what I'm about to share with you is going to spark some serious debate in Lakers Nation. Something happened this week that sent shockwaves through the basketball world, and I've been diving deep into what this means for us, for our franchise, for our future. I've been analyzing every angle, every implication, and trust me when I say that the next few months are going to define an era. We're not just talking about roster moves or trade deadline speculation here. We're talking about legacy, about history, about decisions that will echo through crypto, arena for decades to come. And at the center of it all is the man who's been carrying this franchise on his shoulders since 2018, the king himself, LeBron James. Let me take you back to where we are right now as a team. The Lakers are in the middle of a season that's been, let's be honest, a roller coaster. We've seen flashes of brilliance, moments where we look like legitimate championship contenders, and then we've had stretches that make us question everything. LeBron, in his 23rd season, is still averaging numbers that would make players half his age jealous. We're talking about a guy who's defying every conventional wisdom about athletic decline, who's still putting up performances that remind us why he's considered one of the greatest to ever lace them up. But here's the thing that's been sitting in the background, the elephant in the room that nobody wants to address directly: LeBron's contract situation. As it stands right now, LeBron James is not under contract with the Los Angeles Lakers beyond this season. Let that sink in for a moment. The face of our franchise, the player who brought us a championship in 2020, who's been the cornerstone of everything we've built, could potentially walk away after this year. And when I say walk away, I don't necessarily mean retirement. That's where things get really interesting, and that's where the story I'm about to tell you takes a turn that might surprise you, might frustrate you, or might make you think differently about what the future holds. This week, former NBA star DeMarcus Cousins appeared on FanDuel's Run It Back, and he dropped some comments that have Lakers fans everywhere talking. Boogie, who's been around the league long enough to understand how these things work, who's seen the ins and outs of player movement and career decisions, made a prediction that cuts right to the heart of what we're facing. And his prediction isn't that LeBron retires after this season. It's something entirely different, something that would represent a massive shift in the landscape of our franchise. Before I get to what Cousins said specifically, let me paint you the picture of why this matters so much right now. The Lakers organization has been making moves, strategic decisions that tell us something about how they're viewing the future. We've seen the emergence of young talent. We've seen investments in players who are going to be here for the long haul. There's been serious talk, about building around certain pieces for the next era of Lakers basketball. And one name that keeps coming up in those conversations is Luka Doncic. Now, whether that's realistic or not is a whole different discussion, but the point is that the organization is thinking about what comes next, about life after LeBron. LeBron James has always been meticulous about controlling his own narrative, about being in charge of his destiny. Throughout his entire career, from his decision to leave Cleveland the first time to going to Miami, to returning to Cleveland and winning that historic championship, to coming to Los Angeles, every move has been calculated, purposeful, designed to put him in the best position possible. And that's not going to change now, even as he approaches what could be the twilight of his playing days. He's got a no-trade clause for this season, which means he's holding all the cards. If LeBron wants to finish his career in Los Angeles, he can make that happen. If he wants to go somewhere else, he's got the power to make that happen too. So what did DeMarcus Cousins actually say? When asked directly whether he thinks LeBron finishes his career as a Laker, Cousins didn't hesitate. He said no, Not only did he say no, but he went further, making a specific prediction about where he believes LeBron's career will end. And that place is Cleveland. The city where it all started, the place LeBron calls home, the franchise where he won that unforgettable championship in 2016, breaking a decades-long curse and delivering on a promise to his hometown. According to Cousins, that's where LeBron's story should end, and that's where he believes it will end. Now let me break down Cousins' reasoning because it's not just emotional speculation. There's actual logic to what he's saying. Cleveland is where LeBron's journey began back in 2003 when he entered the league as the most hyped prospect in basketball history. It's where he grew into a superstar, where he left, where he returned, where he delivered the ultimate prize. Cousins pointed out that Cleveland would be the first team to hang LeBron's jersey in the rafters, that there's a poetic symmetry to finishing where you started, especially for a player who's been so connected to his roots throughout his entire career. The idea of a farewell tour in Cleveland, competing on what's currently a very good Cavaliers team, saying goodbye to the fans who watched him grow up. It's got that storybook quality that appeals to athletes thinking about legacy. But here's where this gets complicated for us as Lakers fans. If Cousins is right, if LeBron does decide that his final chapter should be written in Cleveland rather than Los Angeles, what does that say about our situation? What does it say about how LeBron views his time here, about what we've been able to accomplish together, about the future we're building? Cousins addressed this too, pointing out that outside of the championship season in 2020, LeBron hasn't necessarily been put in the best situations here in LA. He made a comment that really stuck with me. When you think about LeBron James, it should never be where he doesn't make the playoffs. And yet, we've had seasons where that's exactly what happened. Seasons where injuries, roster construction, or just bad luck kept us from being competitive. This is the part where I need to be real with you, Lakers Nation. I love this team with everything I've got. I've been riding with the purple and gold through thick and thin, and I'm always going to believe in what we're building. But I can also look at this objectively and understand why LeBron might be evaluating his options. He's at a point in his career where every remaining season is precious, where every opportunity to compete for championships has to be maximized. If he looks around and doesn't see a clear path to contention here in LA, if he sees a better situation elsewhere, can we really blame him for considering it? That's a tough pill to swallow, but it's a conversation we need to have honestly. The reality is that LeBron controls his own fate right now. That no-trade clause means he's not going anywhere he doesn't want to go this season. And when free agency hits this summer, assuming he doesn't retire, he's going to have options. Cleveland would absolutely be interested. They're a competitive team right now, they've got young talent, they've got the emotional connection. But it's not just Cleveland. There are other teams around the league that would jump at the chance to bring LeBron aboard, even for just one more season. Teams that are one piece away from contention, teams that could offer him a legitimate chance to add one more ring to his collection. Here's what makes this situation so fascinating from a strategic standpoint. LeBron has been reluctant to reveal his retirement plans. He's not out there making declarations about this being his last season or committing to playing beyond it. He's keeping his cards close to the vest, maintaining flexibility, keeping all options on the table. That's classic LeBron, and it's exactly what I'd expect from someone who's been managing his career at the highest level for over 2 decades. But that ambiguity also creates uncertainty for us, for the organization, for everyone trying to plan for the future. Think about it from the Lakers' perspective for a moment. They need to know what LeBron's planning because it affects everything they do. If LeBron's going to be back next season, you build the roster one way. If he's not, you build it completely differently. The trade deadline is coming up, and decisions need to be made about whether we're going all in for this season or starting to think about the next era. It's a delicate balance, and the fact that LeBron hasn't tipped his hand makes it even more complex. But here's where my optimism as a Lakers fan kicks in. Yes, there's a possibility that LeBron finishes his career somewhere else. Yes, DeMarcus Cousins made a compelling case for why Cleveland makes sense as that destination. But we can't forget what Los Angeles represents, what the Lakers franchise means in the grand scheme of basketball history. This is where legends come to cement their legacies, where championships are won, where history is made. LeBron came here in 2018 with a specific vision, and while things haven't always gone according to plan, we did win a championship. That 2020 title was special. It was earned under unprecedented circumstances, and it counts just as much as any other championship in NBA history. Moreover, LeBron's family is here. His business interests are here. His post-basketball future is likely centered in Los Angeles. There's more to these decisions than just basketball fit, and those factors shouldn't be underestimated. Could LeBron do a one-year stint in Cleveland as a farewell tour and then retire? Sure, that's possible. But could he also decide that finishing his career in one of the most iconic franchises in sports history, in the entertainment capital of the world, is the right move? Absolutely. What I think is most likely, and this is pure speculation on my part but based on watching LeBron's career for years, is that he's going to keep playing as long as he feels he can compete at an elite level. The idea of him hanging it up after this season, barring some unforeseen injury or circumstance, doesn't align with everything we know about his competitive drive. This is a guy who's still putting in the work, still performing at an all-star level, still impacting games in meaningful ways. Why would he walk away from that if he doesn't have to? The question then becomes not whether he retires, but where he plays if not in LA. And that's where Cousins' prediction carries weight. If the Lakers aren't positioned to compete for championships, if the roster construction isn't right, if the situation isn't optimal, then yes, I could see LeBron exploring other options. Cleveland makes sense emotionally and potentially competitively. Other teams make sense purely from a basketball standpoint. But here's what I'm choosing to believe. The Lakers organization knows what's at stake, they understand the urgency of the situation, and they're going to do everything in their power to convince LeBron that his best option is staying right here. That means making the right moves at the trade deadline. That means showing LeBron that we're serious about competing for a championship this season and beyond. That means surrounding him with the talent and support he needs to succeed. The Lakers have always been a destination franchise, a place where greatness thrives, and I have to believe that still matters. I have to believe that Rob Pelinka and the front office understand the magnitude of potentially losing LeBron and that they're going to do everything possible to prevent that from happening. Here's another angle to consider. LeBron's son, Bronny, is in the league now. While he's not currently with the Lakers, the dream of playing together was something LeBron talked about for years. Could that factor into his decision-making? Could there be a scenario where LeBron and Bronny end up on the same team, and could that team be the Lakers? These are the kinds of considerations that go beyond just wins and losses, beyond just roster construction. They're personal, they're emotional, and they matter. I also think about LeBron's legacy in Los Angeles specifically. Yes, he won a championship here, but is one title enough for him to feel like his Lakers chapter is complete? I'm not sure it is. I think LeBron is the kind of competitor who would want to win multiple championships with a franchise to really cement his place in that organization's history. Magic Johnson won 5 championships with the Lakers. Kobe won 5. LeBron has 1. Does he want to add to that total before he walks away? I think he might. The timing of all this is crucial too. We're in late January 2026 right now. The trade deadline is approaching, the stretch run of the season is ahead of us, and then we'll hit the playoffs, hopefully. After that comes the offseason, free agency, and decision time. LeBron has months to evaluate to see how this season plays out, to see what moves the Lakers make, to see what other opportunities might present themselves. Nothing has to be decided right now, and that works in our favor. If the Lakers can put together a strong finish to this season, if we can make noise in the playoffs, if we can show LeBron that we're building something sustainable, then maybe, just maybe, he decides that LA is where he wants to finish his career after all. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything's fine and there's nothing to worry about. DeMarcus Cousins' comments matter because they reflect a perception that exists around the league about LeBron's situation in LA. Other players are watching, other executives are watching, and they're forming opinions about what's going to happen. The narrative that LeBron might leave is out there, and narratives have a way of becoming reality in the NBA. That's why it's so important for the Lakers to control the narrative, to show through actions, not words, that they're committed to winning now and that LeBron's future is here. We're in a period of uncertainty, no question about that. The comments from DeMarcus Cousins have put a spotlight on something we all knew was lurking in the background: LeBron's contract situation and what it means for our future. But uncertainty also means possibility. It means nothing is set in stone, nothing is predetermined, everything is still in play. The Lakers have the opportunity to shape their own destiny here, to convince LeBron that his place is in Los Angeles, to build a team that can compete for championships both now and in the future. I want to hear from you because this affects all of us. Do you think LeBron should finish his career as a Laker, or does the Cleveland storyline make too much sense to ignore? Do you believe the Lakers can put together a championship-caliber roster around him if he stays? What moves should we be making at the trade deadline to show LeBron we're serious about winning? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I read every single one and I value your perspective on this. We're all in this together as fans, and having these conversations is part of what makes following this team so engaging. Personally, here's where I stand as a die-hard Lakers fan who's been through every high and low with this franchise. I want LeBron to retire in purple and gold. I want him to look back on his time in Los Angeles as the perfect way to cap off an incredible career. I want us to win another championship with him, to give him that extra ring, to show the basketball world that the Lakers are still the premier franchise in the NBA. But I also recognize that wanting something doesn't make it reality. The Lakers have work to do, decisions to make, moves to execute. If we can do that, if we can show LeBron that staying is the right call, then I believe he will. But if we can't, if the situation doesn't improve, then I'll understand if he chooses a different path. What I won't accept is our organization not trying everything possible to keep him here. That's on Pelinka, that's on ownership, that's on everyone involved in basketball operations. Make the moves, build the team, give LeBron a reason to stay. That's all I ask. If you found value in this analysis, if you appreciate the honest conversation we're having here, then show some love by hitting that like button. Subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report if you haven't already, because I'm bringing you content like this every single day, breaking down the news that matters, giving you the insights you need to stay informed about your team. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, especially as we head into the trade deadline and the crucial stretch run of the season. I'll be here covering every development, every decision, every game that shapes our future. Let's navigate this together, Lakers Nation. Until next time, stay strong, stay positive, and always believe in the purple and gold.